Boom. What's up, everybody? It's Tim Locklear and my buddy Travis.
What is up?
That's it. Everybody check out the shirts. Let's see if we can get a good shot of these. The Veedworks shirts. I am in the Veedworks. So is this the shop? Is this the warehouse?
We call it the hangar.
The hangar.
The dirigible hangar.
Excellent. So we're in a second, we're going to go live. We're simulcasting on my Facebook, which is Timothy Locklear, facebook.com/Timothy Locklear. And then also on Veedworks. They're going to be tagging us here in a minute. So we're going to go ahead and go live, and then we'll greet everybody on Facebook here. Boom. What's up, everybody on Facebook? If you're listening live, it's because you give a crap. You're awesome. You're beautiful people. If you'd like to watch along, you can definitely go and check out the YouTube link at the bottom of this description. We appreciate you guys. So like we said here before, we're sitting here with my buddy Travis. Travis Lippert. Travis Lippert is the CEO of Veedworks. Tell us about Veedworks. What is it? Why should I care about it? Why should everybody else here care about it? What is this awesome logo? I mean, also, by the way, I just want to make sure I mention, if you go to Veedworks' Facebook page right now, he's simulcasting, and his postcast deck thing, what is this thing called?
OBS Studio.
Oh my goodness. It's really, I'm jealous, guys. I'm green. You can't see it if you're listening on Facebook, but if you go to his page, you can actually watch it. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Okay. So I've gloated enough about how amazing his stuff is. Tell me about Veedworks. What is it?
Veedworks is a Colorado hemp-derived cannabidiol company. We make 12 products. We started on 4/20 of 2015.
Was that on purpose?
Yeah. Yeah, that's when we formed the company. And
okay.
Then, in January of 2017, we launched our first line of products, which is our vape cartridges. And
now vaping, a lot of people view vaping as just for tobacco, or the people that have the big tanks that blow the big clouds.
And we make that too.
You make that too. Okay.
Yeah.
So for the idiot, for the person, myself included, who has no idea what vaping is, we have a vape pen here. So if you're listening, you can't see it. But what exactly is vaporizing? What is it? The term is vaping. That's shortened. That's a colloquial term. But the full term is vaporizing.
You're vaporizing it.
What
so
is
we
it? What
put
are we
in these
doing?
cartridges a liquid that has cannabinoids and terpenes and other things in it. It just depends on the product. And instead of burning it, you heat it to a temperature where it just vaporizes. It's like boiling water.
So when you say burning it, a lot of people, like when they smoke, like if your grandpa smoked a pipe tobacco and he used a match, he would ignite it and it would burn and there was combustion.
Right.
And you're saying that when people are consuming this product, there's no combustion. It's just vapor.
At least not in our.
Is that better? Is it like preferred over the combustion method, or is it just a different?
I'll tell you this, like it is better in the sense that it's more discreet. This doesn't smell like you're burning a joint, or it doesn't smell like you're burning hemp.
Okay.
It's better in that you can stick it in your pocket and go out on the night and not have, a bowl and all of your accoutrements.
So now, does it get you high at all?
Our product?
Yes.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
CBD, it is non-psychoactive.
Okay. So the psychoactive, that word basically means it's not going to make you feel like you've consumed cannabis or beer or a barbiturate.
No, it feels uniquely like a CBD experience. Okay. And like with our cartridges now, we have 600 milligrams of CBD in a 1 milliliter cartridge, basically 1 gram cartridge. They're 60%-ish CBD. And it doesn't affect your motor skills. It doesn't affect your driving or something. But when you hit it, you definitely know that you are experiencing something. And the way I like to explain how CBD affects you is like if we were in a party and you would hear like the overhead music and a side conversation and another side conversation, and you've got 2 other conversations going on. And CBD, when you it helps you just be in the now and focus on the moment, and it clears out, to me, a lot of the kind of background noise that's going through your head.
Wow.
Which is kind of like stress. And then for what it does for pain is, like, until I tell you this, like, you're not thinking about it, but you will be thinking about it when I tell you this, that you were sitting on that chair and you can feel that chair on your butt. But and you can feel it now, right? You're aware.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
but
Much
you're
more.
going to forget about it, just as you weren't thinking about it one bit before. And so CBD can do that with chronic pain, with pain that keeps you up at night, that ruins your life. CBD can allow you to, if you think about it, that I hurt.
Like you put when you give
your
your attention to it, it's like, oh wow, yeah, there's something here. I want to do something about it.
It allows you to acknowledge the pain and just set it aside and go forward with your normal life.
Wow. So that's a big claim, dude. Like, so there's people that listen to my podcast that experience a lot of physical pain. That's long-term physical pain, like chronic. And some of them are afraid of using pharmaceuticals. Many of them have heard about CBD. They just don't understand. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Coming to a new substance that requires this special contraption thing that doesn't make any sense. And not just that, there's also a lot of stigma.
Definitely.
And if you hand me that beer there,
it's a niche market.
This beer is less illegal and has less stigma to it than this pen.
Yeah.
But they're in essence the same. This is a hemp. I'm not going to show the brand because I don't want to necessarily whatever. But it's a hemp beer, and this is a hemp pen. Their derivatives are identical, but yet, I mean, in essence, identical. But yet, for some reason, many of my veteran friends and compatriots and police officers, law enforcement, those members, they view this differently. They say this isn't okay. There's something with this. Can we talk about that stigma for a minute?
Sure.
What is that? Why is it there? What do we do to confront? He is in a business where his whole life stake is on this. Like, you're like, my money is in, my life is in, this is it. I'm in it. This isn't a part-time gig.
No.
So you believe in it.
Yes.
And so what do?
We educate.
Okay. How do we educate? Because it seems like we educate and talk about it, and we're still relegated to the hippies in the world. We're still how do we break out of that mold? You know what I'm saying? Because I remember before we started, he was telling me how he's got fighters, you've got like race cars, you've got all other kinds of sponsors that are trying to make it mainstream, but yet I still see law enforcement guys saying, yeah, I don't smoke weed, so I'm good. And I'm like, dude, you ought to, maybe. First of all, maybe you ought to consider cannabis as a reasonable means of dealing with the symptoms related to being a police officer in this atrocious world. Oh my God, dude.
I think cops have some hella PTSD. I don't understand.
Dude, it's terrible. It's terrible. You're there. Yeah.
When PTSD was, when it was in the Senate subcommittee and then the Senate for becoming Colorado's 9th qualifying condition for a medical card, there weren't any cops there who opposed it. But when other bills have come up, like I think 1220 and 1221 that were affected home grows. It limited the number of plants that you can grow at home in Colorado. There were a ton of cops there, and
there were police officers in support or in working.
No, never against it.
Really?
They were against.
That's confusing.
The cops are generally just not on our side, but it was interesting for the PTSD. They didn't show up. None of these cops showed up.
Okay, so Matt Kahl, those of you that don't know Matt Kahl, go to Facebook and search at Matt Kahl. He's a super cool dude. He's a veteran. He's a homie. He's the one that started Veterans for Natural Rights, and he's the one that helped put PTSD on the. That's how I met him. Exactly, and because of and many of the people listening to this podcast, many of the homies, all stand on Matt's shoulders.
Yep. And
subsequently we stand on your shoulders because we look at what you're doing and what Matt's doing as movers and shakers. We're really doing something. You guys are on the forefront in essence. You and Matt and other people like you have the capacity to say and do things that people like maybe these guys here don't. they can't say things like about CBD or about legislation or say things like cops need medicine. They need medicine. They're facing some of the greatest trauma. I was telling my buddy Nick Evans, I was like, dude, he's a veteran. We're both veterans. We left our combat zone. We got to come home from it. These police officers, combat zones is their backyard.
Yeah.
They're living in the combat zone.
They're just walking PTSD.
Exactly.
And I think we're seeing it.
And they're waiting to pop. And it's happening all the time. It's happening all the time. And that's another reason I'm not going to talk too much about it because I don't want to hijack the podcast. But if you're a police officer, if you know a police officer, screw that. Tell them to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu will change your life. And when you're using your body as a means of protection, like a police officer does a lot, you need to know your body and you need to understand your reaction response. Like, for instance, if you're laying on your back and your opponent is slapping you in the face, are you going to be able to focus long enough to replace guard and come to the back and cross up a choke and grab your cuffs and put them on? I know that I wouldn't all the time. And I've been doing jiu-jitsu for almost 2 years. And so that means that police officers should be more trained than me. More trained because they're doing it daily basis. And so I tell people, whether you're a police officer or not, no matter what, consider engaging your body, whether it's with yoga, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, mindfulness. And you started talking about mindfulness and I kind of sidetracked it. Do you say that this helps you meditate and focus? It helps
Definitely.
your mind? Really?
Absolutely.
How does it help you?
It, let's say when you're trying to go to sleep and if you have anxiety, which I think most of us have a decent amount of anxiety.
We live in this crazy world.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah.
So when you're trying to go to sleep and all of a sudden you think about that one time you were a jerk to that kid in 5th grade.
Okay.
Or that one time when you, when all of the demons come.
Right.
And you start thinking about the stuff that you did wrong or that you
just get overwhelmed.
Yeah. Or you think about the fact that like I owe about 6 people texts and right.
Dude, you get that too?
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's for me all the time, dude. Like I forever feel like I'm letting everybody down, man. Yeah, all the time. Is that something you face?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. That's crazy. Allows you to, and then also my back hurts.
Okay.
I have significant back issues.
Really? Did you have an injury or did something happen?
Yeah.
That's rough, man.
I mean, I'm 45.
Okay. So you're just feeling your
everybody, all that stuff that you feel that makes you not able to go to sleep. CBD is really great for that.
Okay.
And it silences the demons and allows you to now acknowledge and set aside your pain and then just go to sleep. And that's really what I think for our customers. We ship across state lines. We have 0 THC in our product.
Really?
For our customers.
Wow.
The average American just wants to get a good night's sleep. They want to be able to read bedtime story to their kid and go take a nice long hot shower and then get in bed and know that it's 9:30 at night and none of these bills are going to get paid tonight, even if you could pay them, right? And just get some sleep. And sleep is such an important regenerative thing for health that I think everybody just wants to stop hurting and stop freaking out and get a decent night's sleep like a normal person, like they remember being able to do when they were kids.
So talk to me about that. You said shipping across state lines.
Yeah.
Have you experienced problems, any issues with that?
Yes.
Are you willing to share any of that now?
Yeah.
We talked a little bit before, but I wanted to kind of get some groundwork with you to kind of figure it out. So we share a little bit about that. I'm going to invite you.
We have had packages confiscated by the
packages of legal CBD.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure it's said out loud that it's a legal product, 100%, no different than the beer.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's different from the beer in that the beer is
more regulated, maybe.
Yeah, beer it has alcohol in it, and there are all sorts of regulations about alcohol
that don't exist for CBD.
CBD from hemp is an agricultural commodity like corn.
So we're not talking about weed. It's important to say that we're not talking about weed.
Yes,
this is not weed.
Correct.
Okay.
It is
But people don't believe that, dude. Do you know that? Do you know that there are people, perhaps even on the list listening now, that don't believe that CBD is not weed? They think they're the one and the same. I had a doctor at the VA tell me.
Yeah.
So do you take any supplements? Yes, I do. What do you take? Ashwagandha, holy basil, turmeric, 5-HTP, glutamine, some other things for sleep, like California poppy extract, and I take CBD. I vaporize it. Oh, so you would test positive for a urinary analysis then? Positive for what? Cannabis? You consume cannabis then, right? And I said, and again, whether I did or didn't, I told her that's not what I said. What I said was I consume CBD. Do you understand the difference? I wasn't being rude, but she's like, yeah, CBD is weed, man, or man, sir, or like, and I'm like, you're kidding. And I know there are other people that have said that experience.
Sounds like this guy, Chris Kobach, who's running for governor of Kansas. He just spat it off with some stuff like that.
So there's politicians that are putting things into place.
If there are people on your podcast here who do not think that, well, I'll just explain it like this.
Please, yeah, go ahead.
Cannabis sativa L is a very diverse species or genus of plant.
Okay.
Genus species. Cannabis sativa L includes the marijuana that you smoke to get high, and it also includes these ropey, tall plants.
Like what we have grown in Nebraska, ditchweed.
Yeah.
All along the trail.
Yeah, ditchweed.
Yeah.
There's going to be a ditchweed's getting ready to take off.
Yeah, right now in Nebraska, everywhere you go along the railroad tracks. Yeah.
If you live in Nebraska and you know where some ditchweed is, if it goes to seed this fall, like you ought to start watching it pretty regularly and get those seeds, because that stuff
is that illegal?
Survive.
Is that illegal to pick up?
Oh, I don't know. That was probably an illegal thing. Don't go get those.
Google it first, okay? Yeah, but I wonder. No, okay, so let's start. Let's chat.
Like strain hunters.
Like, yeah, they need.
Yeah, that.
Those genus of hemp strains, yeah,
because they have survived, despite our eradication efforts, and in spite of like the drought of the 70s that destroyed everybody. Remember that late 70s? Destroyed all the crops. Like it survived all that stuff. It was probably planted in 1942.
The Dust Bowl. It survived the Dust Bowl.
Well, it may have. It may. So it's pretty resilient stuff, and you guys are going to start wanting to plant square miles of hemp. And so I'd be interested in those genetics, and I'd start trying to figure out how to breed, say high CBD producing stuff with very hardy. I mean, if it's already grown in your field, like that's good seeds right there. I'd go get that.
Matt Kale. Okay, so I tagged him just now.
Yeah.
He knows. Okay, so I don't want to say what he does or doesn't do or did or didn't do. I don't know exactly. But I know for a fact that him and John Lupian, who I'll tag here too, John Lupian, there you are. I know that him and John Lupian are in the know when it comes to feral strains in Nebraska, Kansas, and Iowa.
Really?
About him. They're in the know. I can't say what I know that they do or don't know because I don't want to break any rules or anything, but I know that they know things. And man, what they've shown me, the CBD I've consumed while with Matt, it's outrageous, man. I mean, it's so pure and it's fresh.
Really?
And, oh my gosh, it's amazing. And I'm excited about the future.
Some hemp in Kansas this year. I'm telling you.
Do you think it's going to happen?
Oh, I know it's going to happen.
Hemp in Kansas.
Yeah, it got passed this past April 20th. I think they passed it this year, 2018. Kansas passed industrial hemp. But the thing is, Kansas, they didn't really even get a jump on anybody because they're not going to implement the program until 2019. And so I have lots of phone calls like the Sarah Swain, Democratic Attorney General candidate for Kansas this year is going to be on the show that I do on Tuesdays, 2 Tuesdays from now. She's calling in to talk about this. Like I'm actively trying to make some stuff happen in Kansas.
I want to grab the link to your stream because I want folks to be able to know what. So your URL to your Facebook is, let's see here,
facebook.com/Veedworks.
/Veed, VERKS. There it is, Veedworks.
So anyway, as you do that with the farm bill, the reason why we're able to do this, the reason why it's legal, the reason why when the post office seized our packages, we filed claims and they had to pay us.
The government, the post office had to pay you.
Yeah,
for what reason? Why'd they pay you? Because they seized your stuff.
Yeah, and took it.
What'd they do with it?
I don't know, but it didn't end up where it's supposed to go.
Do you think some postal employees were smoking your pens?
I would hope so. Maybe they feel. I mean,
it makes me happy to think that maybe somebody got some medicine
yeah.
that they could use. I don't know. Maybe
that'd be nice.
That'd be a positive outcome.
They just who knows where.
So they took these packages without your permission,
right?
And then said we're not going to give them back,
right?
And then I mean, like I know
they
were.
Said then we file a claim. We had them money. And so they had to pay us. It actually didn't even take that long.
Wow.
But I know other companies that have had much worse problems.
There's been some
bigger companies than us that are shipping out a lot more volume than us. Like they're getting a lot more attention.
So I want to ask you a question about isolate.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you don't know what isolate is, CBD isolate, you should Google it. You really should research it. Does your website have any data about isolate? Any information that they can research? Possibly. So go to veedworks.com and maybe they've got some information. Anything they don't have, Google it, check it out. You need to know what this is. You have to. I mean, if you're going to have a dog in the fight, a voice in the discussion, first you need to understand what isolate is. So can you tell me what isolate is, just from your understanding, or distillate isolate?
Isolate is very refined hemp extract the hemp plant contains at least 113 known cannabinoids and terpenes and just all the chlorophyll and all that stuff. And they do that crude extraction and they squeeze it into oil that maybe's got 20% CBD in it, and then that goes through further refining. And like the two types of CBD that we have used in our products are distillate and isolate. And so after it goes through that, we did our R&D with crude, actually.
Research and development with crude CBD oil?
Right. We never put it into products, but that's where we started. We have made experiments with them.
So these are just different stages of extraction?
Yeah, you're just refining it.
Okay.
And hemp is defined as cannabis sativa L with less than 0.3% delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol on a dry weight basis. That's how it was defined in the 2014 Farm Bill, and that's how it will be defined in the 2018 Farm Bill, which is supposed to get signed by September 30th of this year. So this huge diverse plant, as long as it has 113 cannabinoids in it, as long as this one cannabinoid by law is less than 0.3% of the total weight of what they test, then that's hemp. And so anybody who understands cannabis much would probably not be wise to venture into things like THCV or trying
CBG.
To it should say THCA, the law should say THCA or THC or delta-9 THC, but it's like it doesn't say anything about delta-8 THC.
Delta-8's a whole new thing, by the way. Anybody wants to look into that, Google delta-8, please.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I had a friend, Ben, bring me some, and it's fire. Yeah. It's amazing. So sorry, it doesn't
say anything about cannabinol, CBN,
CBG.
CBG, CBC. I know that there are big commercial farms in Colorado that have plants that they're going to harvest probably within a month now. Is that what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. This harvest is coming within
September
a month.
15th. Yeah.
And they grew high CBG strains and high CBC strains. So
really,
CBD
with the intention of extracting to the process.
Because people like me want to buy a kilo of CBG every
time. So you said that, and that actually reminded me of something. So if you're on Facebook for any capacity and you're friends with anybody that's in the cannabis industry, you see people looking for CBD isolate, DM me, what kind of regulations are there? I mean, can I buy a pound of isolate if I want it and have it?
Sure.
And there's no law that says I can't have it.
No.
Why not? Do you think that's good or bad?
That's actually no, there's no law.
Okay.
I don't think it's bad.
Okay.
I think it will become more restrictive. There's no reason why we sell isolate by the gram. There's no reason why we, if you wanted to buy.
Would there be any law that would restrict you from selling it by the ounce?
No.
So it's, I mean,
this is a hemp-derived cannabidiol.
We're
And
talking about
hemp-
tomato sauce, right?
Yeah, it's,
I mean, if you
it's
think
a
about-
commodity.
Yeah.
You're asking me if,
About salsa.
would I
or-
sell you a pound of gluten-free flour or any other agricultural commodity like that? Of course I would.
Hmm.
It's-
So we're really equating, and this is not something I disagree with. I'm asking for clarification. We're equating an agricultural food to CBD.
Yes.
Okay.
CBD is going to CBD. It and this was debated in the Senate. The House and the Senate they'll have two versions of the same bill that go up through each side of Congress, right?
Okay.
And the House killed their Hemp Act, their version of the Hemp Act. The Senate, Mitch McConnell, got it through the Senate, and the Hemp Farming Act of 2018 in its entirety is going to be included in the Farm Bill, which is going to get signed this year.
So what does the Farm Bill say that it didn't say before? What's the difference?
It's not a pilot program anymore.
It's going to be full scale.
Yeah.
And how soon do you expect federal hemp across this country? How long do you think it's going to be until every state in the nation is going to be growing their own hemp?
2019.
You think that?
There will be a small handful of idiotic states if you don't get it done. Every state will.
Give me one state that you think would never go to a hemp bill.
I can't think of it.
You can't think of it.
I think they're all going to do it because it's going to you'll be like that one prohibitionist state that
wouldn't
not even you'll have to pass laws against it because the federal law is going to say that.
You think states will do that though? Dude, I think
Well,
there's some states that would do that. Conservative states that I can think of that would.
Maybe.
They would say, you know what, you can't have your CBD here. I know the federal government says you can. We say you can't.
Yeah.
You can't ship here. You can't grow it. You can't buy it. You can't sell it.
You can't start a business there.
You can't start a business there.
Like Ross Perot said about NAFTA in 1992, you're going to hear
Oh,
a
Ross
big
Perot.
sucking sound as
to be it.
all of the people
Leave that filthy state.
leave that state.
It's sort of like the opposite of what's happening, unfortunately, here in Colorado.
Right.
All the morons. I shouldn't say morons. I say morons because I'm super bitter about traffic, honestly, dude. Traffic is, everybody complains about it. Dude, it's so bad, though, man. Like, it's not bad. 9 miles, 49 minutes. How's that not bad?
That's bad.
That's
on
terrible.
a Saturday?
Yeah, man.
That's no good.
That's why we were delayed here to start, because I took forever to do it. It could be that I'm also a poor planner and I overthink before I leave every time. I don't know. It's one of those two. It's either I blame the traffic though. That's what it is. Okay, so Paul Harrow added. He said active duty should have access to CBD.
I agree.
Talk to me about that. Talk to me about.
I
your
agree
client
wholeheartedly.
base. So why don't we have a market to active duty members? Would you say that you? I mean, I know it's difficult for you to tell, but would you say you have a client base of active duty service members? I know it's hard to tell, but what would you say if you were to estimate?
I don't know. I'll tell you this. Like, we're a veteran-owned company.
Okay. We're going to get to that here in a second, definitely.
So I know a lot of veterans. All of my buddies from school, all
your friends,
right? We all did time in the Air Force, and
so when you were in, do you think the guys that are out now that were with you, do you think they would use CBD?
Yeah, definitely.
You don't think they view you? Do you have any friends that kind of view you as like the pothead of the crew? You went to Colorado and did that weed thing. You know what I mean?
I think that many of them probably had that reaction at first.
Okay.
But I entered the industry in 2014, and so for 4 years I've been posting on Facebook, just
about weed nonstop.
Well, yeah,
the CBD,
and started a business, and we've grown into something. And I think a lot of people have kind of seen the journey that I've taken with this, and so I think there have been some converts. I think there's one guy who unfriended me on Facebook over it. He got no matter what, he just wouldn't listen to any information. He was just like, whatever, you stoner.
You just want to get high.
Yeah. And
So, do you have any kind of organizations that are against your product being, like, for instance, let's say I am a distributor of your product and I go to a health fair.
Mhm.
Like, we just did a great jiu-jitsu demonstration with Evolution Youth Services at the Denver Health Expo.
Mhm.
It was great. It was fun. There was a bunch of booths there. If you were to set up a CBD booth, there was cops everywhere, police officers. Would that be no or yes?
I don't think they'd hassle you as long as
Really? What? And then if they would, well, I wonder what there would be their contention. Like, and I guess I'm really surprised.
in Colorado,
Yeah, man.
hemp is legal as hell in Colorado.
Yeah,
There's
but there's still that thing, like, because there was no cannabis products there.
Yeah.
There was no cannabis booths, but you were doing a CBD booth, and in people's minds, even in Colorado, they still view it as weed, man. How do you get past that?
I don't know. I think we're doing it right now. I think that we do it with conversations like this. I'll directly answer anybody's questions about the legality of it. But
Basically,
you have those conversations. Hemp is not weed.
Say that again.
Hemp is not weed.
That's it. That's important to know. And I'm going to write that down because that's really important to remember. So keep going what you're saying. Hemp is not weed. That's it.
They are both. It's like in this thing that we've got going here with a dirigible versus a blimp versus dirigibles and blimps are both airships.
What is a dirigible? I feel like
a dirigible is a steerable lighter than air aircraft.
How do you know that? That's crazy.
I have to know.
You were in the Air Force. Is that why? Or no?
Yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason why I care about it. Or I guess I got into the Air Force because I cared about things like that. I like airplanes; they're cool.
Have you known what a dirigible was for longer than you've been since before you were in the Air Force?
Yes.
I feel like a dummy. I've never even heard the word.
Really?
No, man. I feel like a dummy.
In the 1930s, there were these huge airships that were like a dirigible has
like a balloon.
Frame. It has a frame in it, like a metal frame.
But it's covered in a vinyl, like a balloon, right? Or no? The dirigible.
It's a metal. Yeah, the dirigible has a rigid skeleton that with an envelope around it, plastic or rubber or whatever, and then they would fill that up with helium. And,
wow, isn't that kind of explosive? Or?
Yeah, the Hindenburg definitely.
Excellent. That would be an example. Right. So that was a dirigible, the Hindenburg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
we're getting some lessons here, guys. So calm down, all right?
The Hindenburg crashed in 1937, which is the same year that they passed the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937 and started requiring farmers to put tax stamps on their hemp.
Is that why you guys put stamps on all of your products? Can you grab that starter box?
Yeah.
Yeah. So check this out. I want people on yours to be able to see it here, and then. There it is right there. There's the little stamps. So these is this an actual like rendition of the marijuana stamp that they would use?
Yeah, it's pretty accurate in the design.
Wow.
It says
obviously it didn't say Veedworks, right? I'm sure, but
right.
So what was the Marijuana Tax Act? What was that? What was the purpose of it? What did it change? And how does it impact what you're doing here today with this product right here in my hands?
The purpose of the Marijuana Tax Act was to prohibit cannabis. Like the guy who was there was prohibition was a interesting period of time, and
the prohibition of alcohol.
Yeah, the prohibition of alcohol. And so, like right at the end of prohibition, when the writing was on the wall, when America had said, "You know what? Screw that. We're done with this prohibition of alcohol. It never worked." It was right at the end of that. A new guy took over to be the drug czar or the alcohol commissioner, whatever the job title was.
By the way, is that a real term in the politics? Is czar, or is that just a term that people use?
I don't know,
dude. It sounds like such an archaic term.
Yeah.
It's like we have like congressman, and then we have the
Czar.
czar. It's like, what is that like right out of
I
like
hope that's
Captain
not
America?
an official. I hope that's not an official.
Someone
title.
Google that, please. Is that a colloquial term or not? Anyway, keep going. Okay, so the
But-
czar at the
So
time.
so the new guy took over right
Took
at
the
the end of
mantle.
right at the end of alcohol prohibition, and he didn't have anything to do anymore. And basically, not to pin it all on Harry J. Anslinger, but
I heard he's a jerk. I don't know.
he-
I think he's dead now, but
one of his relatives, I think his great niece is an activist in the cannabis community in Denver, and she is a wonderful person and
Wow.
is doing amazing things to make amends for whatever wrongs her family may have.
wow,
Made
that's
that.
wild. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
So this guy here, and I want to add Dennis Wimpton, he said CBDs work. 1 year ago, I was in the hospital dying. Today, I'm erasing stock cars and taking no pain meds or psychological meds. The only change was CBD. Do you hear stories like that? This is a vet. It's a homie.
Yeah.
So you do hear stories like that?
Definitely, all the time.
Tell me one that sticks out to you the most right now. CBD success stories from your products. I'm kidding.
I'll show,
Or whatever success story. I mean, in any
I'll
capacity.
show you a success story.
Okay.
Is that we were always testing our products on ourselves, and we know that our lotion is we've seen it on ourselves before, like it helps. And this isn't a medical claim. I'm just going to explain.
This is not a medical claim. This
Right.
is just an anecdotal experience that this one
But
particular person
CBD
had.
is a very powerful anti-inflammatory, and a lot of the response that happens in your body when you get burned is an inflammatory response. And so, we've been experimenting with it.
I see.
And so,
So you've got a burn?
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
several-
Holy cow, dude. How did you get that? Was that a motorcycle?
No, it was this one here was from our lot coating machine,
Oh my goodness.
which we used to
Yeah.
that carriage gets hotter than hell. And then this one is 95 degrees Celsius distilled water that we and then we just put our
And so you
our
put
lotion
your
on
own.
it, which
Did you not? You didn't do it on purpose.
No,
obviously,
on
right? You weren't
purpose.
on purpose.
Yeah.
To see what would happen.
Yeah.
And it worked.
well, it never blistered. That's
You burned the hell out of yourself just to see if it would work. You're a maniac.
So there's my testimonial, I guess. But
And it
that's,
worked. And the cream
It
didn't. Now,
it stopped the. It's worth pursuing, I guess, is the best way
Yeah,
to put
yeah.
it. We're going to keep. I hope to not burn myself much.
I don't want you to burn
but,
yourself more. I don't. Please don't burn yourself.
We wanted to. We just needed an experiment, right?
To see what would happen. Yeah.
It's really interesting what it does. Maybe that's the type of thing that maybe we would look at in the future, is making a burn cream and
A
going
particular
through
cream. Yeah.
and trying to get it through the FDA process to make whatever claims we would make about it. But
So that's the next question I was going to ask is, what is stopping FDA research? What is stopping us from saying, okay, so I'm a veteran personally.
Yeah.
I have PTSD. I experience a lot of symptoms related to my time in the military, and I deal with my symptoms by a variety of different methods, one of which is natural medicine, i.e. CBD.
Mm.
And in the states where I'm legal, obviously cannabis I find to be helpful, but primarily I like CBD. I really love it. It's a very well-rounded feeling. There's not a lot of a peak. It's a lot more mellow. It's great for after jiu-jitsu, before a hike, doing yoga, whatever. I want to be able to say that. PTSD is proven to, the symptoms of PTSD are proven to be mitigated when regular CBD use is applied. Why can't we say that? That was not a medical claim, but why can't we say that?
you can say it. I just can't say it as a.
Why can't we, as the community?
Yeah, I don't know. I've had trouble. I worked for the drug industry before I was in the cannabis industry. That's how I.
Wow,
And
it's a rough transition, right? Or no? Was it smooth? I don't know.
it was awkward.
Awkward.
It was an awkward transition, but we had the same issues then. I mean, you can't. I don't know. I think for hemp that I'm not really willing to just immediately concede that the FDA is going to lock down what we can say about it, like they've locked down what you could say about an antibiotic or something like that. But
So if you, as a CEO of a company, said something, it would be more impacting than if I said it. It would mean more to the FDA.
Yeah, if I say, well, I don't know, and I'm kind of willing to fight that fight. I know that.
What would that fight look like, I wonder?
The fight will look like we get a nasty letter that
says you can't make claims that aren't true.
Right. And then.
And you're like.
And it will also say that we have to remove it from our website or from whatever tweet or something.
Or if you had a video, you have to remove that part of the video. Right. Is that what they?
I don't even know what I would do about that.
I don't. Yeah, and I guess my confusion about it is that we're not talking about an experimental drug here. We're talking about one of the world's, and then I'm going to sound like
we're talking about corn, man. We're talking about corn oil. Hemp is an agricultural commodity, and the Farm Bill, when it gets signed, will make that absolutely crystal clear to everybody in this country who needs to know it. And these are agricultural products. They're no different from alfalfa sprouts or I don't know, beeswax.
So I got to play the devil's advocate there.
Yeah.
Now that we're there, what do you say? Let's say I'm a parent.
Yeah.
And my kid wants to get high.
Yeah.
And my kid can go down to the store and buy a CBD edible and feel high. Is that true or not true? Because there's parents I know who are like, I don't want my kid coming home puffing on some vape pen, getting high, or like sneaking around getting high.
That's a really.
What are your thoughts on that? I mean, again, we're not talking about cannabis. We're talking about CBD, because in Omaha, you can go to just about any head shop and buy CBD gummies, edibles, vape. My wife.
Really?
Absolutely. My wife.
I think we have 0 stores in Omaha.
Well, hurry up, Omaha. Let's get with this. Omaha, Nebraska. Reed's come through a few times, and he's helped out my friend Nick and I, and my friend Shane Edwards as well. What's up, Shane? Nick, I love you guys.
What's up, Reed?
Yeah, there you go, Reed, if he's listening. The thing is it's not known. Like when I show people my 1,000 milligrams of CBD that I keep on the top for my wife and I use, it's helpful for a lot of different applications. People are like, oh, so how do you get around having weed in the house? And I'm like, where do you see weed? Oh, that thing that's weed in there. And I was like, no, it's CBD. And I was like, yeah, but CBD's weed, right? I've had people tell me that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think logically, I almost just wanted to. What we do is that we make stuff that kids ought not use or should totally be fine with using, and we don't have any middle ground. We have vape cartridges, which I highly, no kid should. I hate to. Somebody just recently asked me, like live, about the visual of a kid hitting
vaping a pen.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Like,
but here's the thing. Okay, so like I want to say as a parent, if I see my child going through something that's harmful, hurting them, they're feeling pain, and I know that this thing is non-toxic, it's not going to kill them,
and that's.
I would rather try that first as a parent.
Yeah,
now, look, I'm going to go to my doctor.
Your doctor should be totally involved with that
yes,
stuff.
he's going to be like,
that your kid going to the corner store and buying something is
shouldn't happen.
Just unappealing to me is the thought of a kid going there and buying a can of dip or buying an energy drink for that.
I mean,
Red Bull.
Yeah. And I'd like to be clear.
Wait till you're an adult to start polluting yourself with stuff. But overall, though, the difference between CBD and all of that stuff is that CBD is good for you.
There you go. It's proven. It's not. This is not just hype. It's proven. Google it. I mean, really, it's science is already out there, right?
Yeah,
it's already there. A can of Red Bull,
not good for you.
Check it out. A can of Red Bull and say 20 hits on a cartridge of CBD. The Red Bull will inhibit your ability to function. It will limit your motor functions. It will cause disillusions. I mean, have you ever had high doses of caffeine, bro?
Yeah.
It causes you to go crazy.
Yep.
And this mellows you out. The worst side effect I've ever had from CBD, real talk, is I pooped once and it smelled like cherries.
Really?
Because I ate a lot of isolate in a drink. I mixed like a quarter gram in of like because I wanted.
Did it stay in suspension?
No, it totally
it
totally
just collected the bottom.
No, it totally melted away. It totally dissolved. It was a powdery stuff. Like
what did you mix it in?
Water. It's water soluble.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it just disappears in the
Okay,
water. And then I
okay.
drank the water, and then I was so mellow, I fell asleep. I was having some pretty bad anxiety, and I was like, I need to mellow out. And
Yeah.
I don't want to consume cannabis. I don't want to drink beer. I don't want pills. I don't want supplements. I want something that's going to work with no side effects.
Yeah.
And I went to bed. And then I woke up and I had like a big breakfast, and I the next dump I took kind of smelled like almonds and cherries. That was the biggest side effect. But like, if that's the biggest side effect, I don't know. I don't know why we're still stigmatized against it. Why there are still veterans every day that I talk to who are like, now, so what's the CBD deal again?
Yeah, dude, veterans try. I'm telling you,
man,
guys,
it's crazy.
you
Please,
oughta try CBD. It's
Please.
not the same thing as THC. It's not, if you go chug a bottle of anything, then I would perhaps expect results that are different from what people generally say. But, use it. Go get a CBD tincture.
So tell me how people, so now's the opportunity for you to tell these people, how do they get your product? Where do they get your product? You have a box here. I'd like to talk about that a little bit. And I'd like to maybe discuss or at least this pin, what can people expect from your product? Why should they use it? Why is it different? I want you guys to know, Tim Locklear and Veterans for Natural Rights, we believe in Veedworks. We believe
in Veterans for Natural Rights. Like this box, last November, we ran a deal where if for every starter kit that we sold where somebody used a coupon code for
whatever it
Veterans for Natural Rights, then we would donate $50 to them.
That's brilliant.
And,
those are great kinds of things, and businesses don't do that, dude. Like, not a lot of businesses in this industry do that. It's unfortunate. You're the rarity, and it's a good thing. You should keep doing it because like more and more people are starting to see, because like other businesses that are doing the same thing you're doing, perhaps similar things, not the same thing, because no one can do it like Veedworks. #Veedworks. But the companies that are doing, they're going to watch. They're going to see. Why is it that all of these veterans or all of these people who are physical healthcare practitioners or all these people who are jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai or boxing or hiking why are they all sort of kind of gravitating towards the same CBD product? Why is that? What is it about their product that's better? Well, actually, it's their brand. Their brand says things about who they are inside, and it draws good people to the. I mean, that's the reason I wear the gi I wear when I do jiu-jitsu. It's the reason I wear the shoes I wear. It's the reason I do what I do. I use the brands I use because I like them and because they're reliable and because I like their message primarily. It's the reason I don't use Apple. Not because it's not because I don't hate Apple. I don't like my products telling me how to use them. I like to use them the other way, where I tell them what to do and then they do it and they don't stop doing it until I tell them to stop. So talk about your brand. Talk about how people can buy it. Some starter kit ideas. What can they expect? That kind of thing.
Okay. We are in, I think, 81 stores now in 16 states. If I've got it right.
What kind of stores should we be looking at if we're looking for it?
With only 81 in the whole U.S., you probably need to just go to Veedworks.com and go to the store locator and then see if there's one by you. Okay. And if so, please go buy your stuff from that store.
Is it going to be more expensive from the store?
Yeah, we'll make more. No.
Okay.
No, we don't undercut a retailer.
That's brilliant. A lot of people do. Like, you can buy Green Road, or I shouldn't say the name, but you can buy another company's products wholesale cheaper than you can, or not wholesale, but online cheaper than you can in the store. And I've always wondered why that is, and it's because of the huge markup. It's gigantic. It's like 30-40% sometimes. It's very high.
In the store, a retail store owner needs to double his or her money on anything that they buy.
Exactly.
So we make, if we sell you a cartridge, or just any product for $100, then the retailer needs to pay us wholesale $50. They need a double on, or else they can't make their ends meet. That's just how that's how every industry like this works. A brick and mortar store needs to double their money on what they buy, and what we get in return for that is they buy it by the case or by the case of cases. And so we get more volume, which allows us to, keep people busier and just keep
keep the prices down.
Yeah.
You guys don't have to. That's what I'm getting to, is that's part of the reason I like Veedworks, is that you keep your bottom price low so that even if you do have to buy it retail, it's still not going to. I can think of like 3 competitors right now who are expensive, and I wouldn't buy their products because they're expensive.
We're generally one of the most expensive on the shelves, and intentionally, because
really,
I think that there's money to be made in any category of, just say you're making some kind of like diaper rash ointment.
Okay.
I think that if you have the most expensive diaper rash ointment that has all these premium, super, expensive raw ingredients in it, I think I like that area of any industry. And then down at the low end, where you're just trying to be the cheapest, the most bang for your buck type of product, I think that there's a lot of opportunity down there. I have no experience with that part of the industry. We never intend to compete on price. We never are gonna I don't care if we're the most expensive product on the shelf. If we're not, then I kind of want to see what we can do to start. But in the middle, I think, is where people get burned, is where they can't figure out if they're a premium product or if they're a commodity.
Because a lot of times veterans that I know are on a fixed income.
Yeah.
People that are ill or sick are not rich, usually. Those two things don't go together.
Yeah.
So the products that we're talking about here are expensive. How do we? So I'm going to ask a plain question and give you the chance to answer.
Yeah.
How do you justify charging what you charge for the products you get?
We make it worth it. And for example, when the first cartridge run that we did put out for test marketing was 30 milligrams of CBD in that cartridge. And I think that I don't remember what we sold those for, but that was the test marketing. We decided to go to, instead of we did our retail launch with 50 milligrams in a gram, and our packaging is, at that point, was, it's a considerable expense. Just like the way that we make our stuff, the packaging we put it in.
Is that important?
Definitely. That's that's part of the difference in why it's worth it. Like when we sell a cartridge, we use these stamps here to keep our packaging closed, these tax stamps that we were talking about. But inside, well, typically this is a sample, but we booger glue another stamp in there because people were, peeling them off,
trying to save them. Yeah.
Right. So we spend that extra money.
Can I see that? I want to show those to those people here.
It's not even just the cost of the stamp. It's even the cost of that booger glue thing that you use to stick it on there so they can peel it off. Like that. That all adds up.
Booger glue.
I don't know what the official word is for it, the official term is, but so we launched at 50 milligrams, and then as must have been a year later. I don't remember when we tripled it though to 150, and still at the same price. And what we did, we started rolling this out 2 weeks ago, is then we quadrupled it again now. So we started at 50 milligrams for $50, and now we're at 600 milligrams for $50. And 600
milligrams for $50. That's significant.
Yeah, it's
what now? What is that?
Just keep making it worth it is how we defend the price point.
It's a great answer, dude. That makes sense.
We're at a limit now. If we could have done 700 milligrams in a 1 gram cartridge, we probably would have. We have hit the point where it is not within our capabilities.
You don't have the carrier oil.
We can't figure out how to make it any more concentrated than that without having it crystallize. And other people who have crystallization problems. I just don't want to get into
Heat, too much heat.
like customer service videos about how to turn a hairdryer onto your cartridge, and melt it back down or
Wow.
whatever.
Is that happening?
So we've hit I think a lot of these more potent cartridges crystallize, and it's so we've hit that limit. I think the limit, my theory, based on I'd take an hour to explain it, is 61.8% CBD. I think is pretty much after that point, it's going to crystallize. I know it's barely above 60, and it's probably under 65. So that's a long drawn out way of saying that there's no way that I think that we can increase the amount of CBD that we have in a 1 gram cartridge past this. And so in the future, we'll have to make the decision about whether to, then start lowering the prices or maybe just stop. But we're not equipped to race to the bottom. We don't have, huge assembly lines of stuff rolling out. We're not a good, big volume,
Yeah, this isn't, it's not a giant space.
Yeah, we have, on a typical day, we have 5 people in here working. We've got people doing other things elsewhere. But
so what about food? CBD edibles.
Uh-huh.
Do you guys do those?
No.
Why not?
Takes more space.
You have to worry about food and drug people coming in and inspecting it if you're making things that are for food, or is that why?
No, we're regulated as if we made food.
Really?
We
you have to get inspected and all that. Wow.
Colorado Department of Public Health and the Environment.
Wow.
And
that's because you're making a product that you're selling to people, right?
Yes,
I see.
CDPHE is our regulator.
I see.
Our direct regulator. We just got our second.
And now, if the police officers were to come in here for any capacity, and they were to find a bag of giant isolate, is that they won't mess with you for that? They won't hey, you can't have this. They won't try to put you in handcuffs.
No.
They have no.
No, I
never a problem there.
No.
There's a lot of fear there. I mean, there's nothing stopping the average person from buying it and then infusing it into everything they eat and making their lives better. There's nothing stopping a wealthy person from buying a kilo of isolate,
mm-hmm.
storing it, and then infusing it into everything they eat and drink and into their daily lives. And many people don't know that you sell. Does Veedworks sell isolate in as a
yep.
dabbable form?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so
we sell isolate, by the gram. We actually, we've never tried to market it like dab it.
I see.
We send out recipe cards for chocolate chip cookies to tell people how, if you put this gram, if you make this chocolate chip cookie recipe and you put this gram in it, then you'll end up, it's 1,000 milligrams, and the recipe makes about 50 cookies, and so you'll have 20 milligrams per cookie.
That's brilliant.
And I think that's how pretty much everybody who's ever bought our just isolate by the gram has used it, is in some sort of cooking.
They don't generally dab it. Is that something you do? You do, and you like it? What effect does it have on you versus eating it versus vaping it in that capacity right here?
There's a lot more apparatus involved with dabbing.
Sure, you've got
to have all
the water pipe, the torch, the banner, everything nailed. Yeah,
right. And this, I can just hit my car
and you're done.
And it's totally legal, by the way, officer.
It's not THC.
No, there's no
cause
THC.
Inebriation.
No.
Yeah. So I put a link here in the comment section to that CBD isolate 1 gram. And I'm looking at it, and to the average user, that looks like cocaine.
Yeah.
What do we say about that? Can we talk about? Can we just make sure that's out there? It looks like cocaine.
Yeah, it looks scary. It's really, when we measure out grams to sell in this, so we don't sell a lot of isolate by the gram. We
That's surprising.
we offer it. There are some retailers who sell a decent amount of it, but it's really, I mean,
now,
we already are going through kilograms of isolate, and it's no big deal to just weigh out some of it into a gram. But you really do feel like a movie character when you're dividing a big quantity of a white powder into smaller, very precisely measured quantities of white powder. It seems really
say hello to my little friends. So on the website, Richard added, he goes, the isolate's amazing. I've been using it every 4 hours for vapes, and I'm able to go 6 to 8 hours between my opioids without pain and shaking, rather than the typical 4 hours that I've had to do for almost 8 years. I think if I used more of it more often, my meds would. Oh, he's basically saying that if he used more of the CBD, he would be able to use less of his pills. And this is a guy here on the Veedworks website who's left a review about their isolate.
Yeah.
And so, do you have any personal like preferences? Do you prefer it to be just that white with no isolate added, or do you like it to have like a terpene flavor, or what's your preference?
I just like the pure isolate.
What's the flavor of it for those who've never had it?
Cherry sucrets.
Cherry sucrets.
Yeah,
I see. And what's the feeling you get when you? And so, for those of you that don't know, you need to stop, Google dabbing, not the dance. Not this. Go Google dabbing, because what it is you have a water pipe, right? And you have a glass tube coming down into water,
right?
And then you have a glass piece coming up with a small tank, and then you take either with electric or with heat. You heat up the nail. This glass piece, commonly referred to as the nail, and that heats up to a particular point, a temperature that is acutely accurate, like very good, similar to the temperature that's existing in here, but a little bit different.
Yeah.
And then you apply this powder that's on the link that I just put in the description here, and you put the powder on top of this glass, and then you put your mouth over the top of this hole of this water pipe and create suction.
Mm-hmm.
It pulls the water, pulls the vapor down, or pulls the water, the vapor in the air down into the water.
Yes.
Circulates through the water, comes up, and then goes into your lungs, and then you exhale it.
Yep.
Now, how is that beneficial? Why is that good? That looks like drugs. Think about the average person who's like, it looks like a drug user. It looks like you're tying one on. I mean, what do we say about that? It needs to be discussed.
I think it is why we don't sell very much isolate compared to our cartridges, which are just totally
simple. They look like a pen.
Yeah.
And everybody's got one of those nowadays.
There's so much. I don't have a dab rig. I don't have an e-nail or something. I've got a couple different
straws,
nectar collector type of
straws.
One of them's got, you can put water in it and it's bubbly and
Bubblers,
stuff.
But those are great.
But nevertheless, you still have to have the torch and it just, I mean,
we're not talking about weed. Let's make sure that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about weed.
No, this is just CBD.
This is CBD.
Yeah.
So if somebody was to buy your isolate, then go out on the street corner, right in front of a police officer.
Yeah.
With a completely legally purchased rig that is commonly referred to as a dab rig, and do a dab on the street. That's legal, right?
Yeah.
There's no illegal anything happening, right?
No.
So how many people do you think that would be willing to do that? Not many.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't? What would stop you? Just from getting jacked with by the cops?
You could be right. The same is true with
beer,
with everything related to cannabis and hemp. Like, you could be in the right, and you could ultimately be
take that drink, clear out your throat there.
Judged, to be innocent by a jury of your peers. But in the meantime, you could spend $10,000 in
legal fees and fines and what have you.
You got to pick your fights, man. There's a lot of times I say that's just not the hill I'm going to die on.
That's it. My dad used to say that all the time. I was born at night, but not last night. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay, guys, let's see where we're at here. We are at 1 hour and 3 minutes. If any of you lunatics have been listening that long, it's because you're amazing people. I'd like to give the URLs again, just to make sure everybody has it. Veedworks.com. Is there any kind of like discount program? Is there any kind of Any like membership, anything like that people can look for, or just maybe like a frequent flyer miles type thing? You know, like
Yeah, we have a subscription program.
Okay.
On the website to keep getting a good deal.
That's it. Awesome.
I'll tell you, in the spirit of this, if you you'll need to give me about 5 minutes to get this set up, but if you use the discount code VNR, like Victor November Romeo 600, at checkout on Veedworks.com, then we'll do 20% off of the 600 mil cartridges, or the 600 milligram cartridges.
Excellent. I'm putting that on there right now here. And you should give them 10-15 minutes after the podcast so we can get it all set up.
I'll get it set up.
Get it ready.
It's a big VNR 600. So how about, save 20%, and then
20% off the 600 mil carts.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So I guess you'd get them for $40. So there you go.
That's a huge deal, you guys. It's huge.
600 milligrams, $40, and that cartridge is.
If you're doing jiu-jitsu, if you're doing yoga, if you're doing physical activity, if you're trying to sleep better, if you want to have better sex, I'm being honest.
I'm being honest.
It works.
There's
some good side effects.
When you feel better, you do better.
Right there. You just summarized it, my friend. When you feel better, you do better.
And when you
have confidence,
use CBD, and your stuff's not hurting, and
you're
not just thinking my elbow hurts, my elbow hurts, my elbow hurts, my elbow hurts. You can just set it aside, acknowledge it, and set it aside, and then just be in the moment.
Be in that moment with your loved one.
You don't hurt so much. You don't have as many of these just antagonizing thoughts going through your head about
screaming about physical pain. Hey, wait, hang on, babe. I need a minute.
It just works.
When
you feel better, you do better.
That's true.
That's do a little
copyright 2018 Veedworks.com. You guys should think about an intimate lotion.
We have thought about it a lot.
I would be a customer of that product. I think that'd be great, man. Yeah.
What I would like to do is make a pain cream that costs retail $30, which means you're going to have to make a ton of it.
Use the pepper stuff.
That's what these terpenes take the place of. That pepper stuff, like
camphor. And
let's take like Icy Hot or Theragic or Bengay. They have a carrier of some sort, and they have methyl salicylate, which is wintergreen oil, as the painkiller, and they also have menthol as a counter irritant. That methyl salicylate, it's like taking an aspirin, which is acetyl salicylic acid. You take it, and it works through your body. It systemically, it breaks down into something in salicylic acid. That methyl salicylate breaks off into some methyl something and salicylic acid, and that kills the pain. And so that's why when you rub like Icy Hot on your elbow, like it goes straight to the pain. The methyl salicylate molecule is much smaller than the acetyl salicylic acid, the aspirin molecule. It will go through your skin. CBD goes great through your skin. And then by incorporating these terpenes, those take the place of like menthol, which is a terpene. And it is found that
you can make it smell like oranges, and it'll still make you feel good.
Yeah, I mean, there's some trickery involved with it.
Orange clementine.
Yeah.
I think that's one of my favorite strains, is that clementine smell.
I think it's got a lot of neuroladol in it.
Neuroladol. Listen, you guys, this guy knows what the hell he's talking about, is the moral of his story. And you and Matt Kale need to sit down and talk about all this stuff. He's a geekhead and all that.
I know.
You guys have probably done it already, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think we'll wrap it up for now. Did you have any closing words, any thoughts you wanted to?
I would like to say that the U.S. government has a patent on cannabinoids as neuroprotectants and antioxidants. It is U.S. patent number 6630507.
Let's say it again. 6630507.
U.S. patent 6630507 is the U.S. government's own patent on cannabinoids as neuroprotectants and antioxidants. And if you've ever had somebody who you love who's died of or suffered from Alzheimer's, like this patent will piss you off because it says that it talks about Alzheimer's just right there in the U.S. government's own patent. And like there's hope in this plant for things that we know affect otherwise just intractable diseases like these Dravet syndrome,
fibromyalgia,
like cerebral palsy,
Down syndrome.
Yeah,
it's been proven with kids with autism. CBD has increased cognitive processing with kids with autism 85% of the time.
So in order to be on Schedule 1, a drug must meet 3 criteria, one of which is that it must have no accepted medical use.
Which is what's happening right now.
And the fact that the United States government has the patent on cannabinoids for their medical use as neuroprotectants and antioxidants, and it speaks specifically about Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, that right there makes it impossible for any logical person to argue that cannabis should be on Schedule 1. It does not meet one of those 3 criteria. And that's what I would like to say is that 6630507, Google it. And maybe one other thing, speaking of Google, is that we're hearing in states like Delaware and Iowa and even in Colorado that there isn't enough research on cannabis. I do not believe that is true.
You think there is
so
already
go to Google, and when you go to Google and then type in PubMed, PUBMED, and PubMed takes you to the national to the NCBI website that basically, if there's any peer-reviewed like legit medicine-related, biology-related paper that's been published, you can find it. You can at least find the abstract at PubMed. So go to Google, search for PubMed, go to PubMed, search for cannabis and whatever ails you. And there's a really good chance that there's actually been quite a bit of research on there. There's more studies for cannabinoids and cannabis on peer-reviewed, real, medical journals. You're going to have to learn a lot of, you'll see
jargon.
A lot of words. But there's more information about that than there is on Tylenol. And Tylenol's been approved.
I still have Tylenol.
Scary. Yeah,
it's pretty terrible.
So that's my message. 6630507 PubMed.
Before we leave, can you grab that link up there for me? So if you click those 3 dots, or no, actually maybe it'll be down here on the share. Where's the share?
It's not going to let me do it yet.
It's not going to let you share it yet? Okay,
not
cool.
Yet. Not while I'm live.
Okay, cool. So what we're going to do, guys, here in a minute, I want you guys to watch this on my YouTube channel if you want, but this live video with this deck behind it looks really wicked and awesome and cool. Excuse me. Travis, you're amazing. I wanted to talk a little bit more about your military experience, but we can close with that. Do you feel like you having been willing to put your name on the line and give up your life? Now, you didn't, obviously, but you were willing to. Does that impact the way you conduct business with Veedworks now as it is? And if so, how?
I would say that the experience of going through the Air Force Academy shaped me into the person who I am now, and that I developed a real, strong sense of right and wrong. Not even right and wrong, but just right. And if there's something that I believe in, then I really go after it. I don't really feel like nothing that we're doing here it pales in comparison to anything that anybody has done to ever get on an airplane and fly over to Afghanistan or Iraq, or fly over them in the case of like most of my friends. I don't think that this isn't on that level. This is us
just etching the surface.
Yeah, there's risk involved, and there's always always things that could go wrong and there are often things that really do go wrong and set us back. But I mean, this isn't like what people have gone through who've served in the military, especially served combat, or even just had a remote deployment. Like I never even had an unaccompanied tour anywhere. I had it. I'm a veteran, but I don't have the types of experiences. However, I'm really, really in tune with the fact that a lot of people who I love, my brothers, who've gone through that. So, I don't know.
Here's the thing, and this is what we say with Veterans for Natural Rights, and I say it, and Matt says it, and everybody that's a part of our thing says this, is that if you have a DD-214, or if you were willing to put your life on the line, you're a homie. That's it.
Yeah.
And you have to work pretty hard to prove otherwise. We have some guys that work pretty hard to try to get us to leave them alone, and we don't.
Yeah.
We don't back down. We're like, they tell us to screw off, and we say, we're gonna come in even harder, because we recognize that they have a need that they're alienating, and that CBD could change their life. And like, you take a little bit of CBD, a little bit of medicine, a little bit of good supplements, some good communication, you go on an intense hike, or you do some jiu-jitsu, or you do some yoga, or you go sit in the sauna for half an hour. All of a sudden, that altered state of mind clicks in, where you're doing hard things with people you like, or people that you've got this brotherhood with. And all of a sudden there's this shift. And then you see, like what happened last night. We had this camaraderie, this fellowship. We were all together in this place maybe we didn't want to be, because it's public and all these people are here, and it's like, I don't know. But then at the same time, we're like, there's these humans here that just give a giant shit about me for some reason. I can't figure out why. I got to find out more. I got to tap in more. What's really going on? And I remember saying this last night, but I say it often. It's like, I can't wait for Matt Kale to figure out that I'm a pile of garbage, because he's just going to figure it out someday that I'm just this jerk, and he's going to leave me. But everybody tells me, it's like, that's you. It's just you. And this medicine helps me understand that I am actually valuable. I deserve the friendship that I get from Travis, from you, from Matt, I deserve it. I'm actually worthy of it, which is crazy. When you come out of some of these hard things with trauma, you feel like you're not worthy, like you don't deserve to get love or appreciation. And that's where a lot of guys are like, I don't deserve to feel better. Well, you know what? This CBD pin here, this can actually change that for you. This can help you perceive things in a way that perhaps you haven't before, so this is the earth, and this is the way you're perceiving things. It gives you the ability to go, it's the same problem, you're just viewing it in a different way. And that's what we're trying to get to. We don't want to be high. That's a misconception. Vets don't want to just be high. I mean, maybe that's all right sometimes, but we really honestly want to be sober. We want to be clear-minded.
Yeah.
We want to think clearly, and
you want to be able to be medicated and to not suffer from the things that ail you, and just be able to live a normal life, to function normally, and to not be taking all these weird pills, man. They pile these pills upon pills upon pills, and it has real
huge impacts, dude.
They are
detrimental.
I mean, I believe this more strongly every day. Like last night was a step up in how firmly I believe this, that like these pills that they're prescribing us, these SSRIs and the benzos, they're a lot scarier than what anybody would lead you to believe.
Would you say they're obviously less harmful than this little vape pen?
No, they're way more harmful.
I mean, excuse me, way. Yeah, this is less harmful, is what I mean.
We make harmless stuff.
Harmless, yes.
Not just us, everybody. CBD products are good for you. They're the opposite of bad for you.
Exactly.
It's not even like it's like they were telling us to not take vitamin D this whole time, and now finally we're all going to stop having rickets.
Did you hear Rhonda Patrick on Joe Rogan talked about that? She came on and
really,
yeah, she was like, you guys are idiots. Like, your vitamin D is amazing, and here's how much you should. Most people are, according to her, vitamin D deficient. Most people don't get enough vitamin D. Most people are not getting it in the right way.
Yeah.
So, finding out, because it's like, if you're a veteran and you have VA healthcare, or you're a civilian and you have healthcare through your insurance company, or you can't afford it, you can go and have your blood tested. It's not expensive. Apparently, it's like less than $100 if you just go to a clinic and you're just looking for seeing things. You're like, yeah, I feel this way, but feelings are like buttholes. Everybody's got them, and they sometimes stink. So it's like, you got to keep them clean and shit. So you got to keep things focused. You know what I mean? Like you've got to watch it. So it's like you go to this doctor when you're sick, but you don't go to the doctor when you're not sick. Let's begin. I mean, the point is like we should begin to be using our doctor in a way that we use the person with whom we purchase our alcohol from. I purchased my alcohol from someone who I don't know, but I trust him. I trust him within the capacity that I need him to be reliant, which is providing me with the alcohol that I want, or the mouse that I want, right? I want to buy a mouse, and I go to this Best Buy, and I want to find somebody who's going to provide with me the best one. So I have a relationship, I have a trust, there's a confidence, there's a give, there's a take, right? You know that this, I don't know this, we're going to go. But I'm also a customer. So I'm also spending money. So you kind of have to kiss my butt just a bit. Like you have to kind of think about what I want more than what you want. And you don't tell me what to do ever. You don't tell a customer what to do unless a customer asks, then you explain to them. But you're not telling them this is what you do. You're telling them these are your options. Which one sounds the best to you? And then your job as the salesman is to make the most. Right. So because we have this healthcare system that exists, we've now gotten to the point where there's no longer that customer, customer service mentality. It's you do what I say because I have the letters after my name. And I'm like, well, yeah, you have the letters after your name. I like that. That's fine. That's why I come to you for special things. Like, hey, my foot feels funny. Is there any chance I'm dying? Can you check? No, I'm good. All right, just feels bad. So I'll just feel bad a little. I'm good with that. Or I can pursue like that pubmed.com or .org. Just Google PubMed.
Just Google PubMed. Yeah.
If you go there, you could probably find your syndrome, your issue, and you could probably find research about natural medicine that can help it. You can definitely go to a naturalist who will definitely most of the time help you find natural supplements to help fight or stave off the symptoms related to what you're facing. But to just give in and do what the doctor says is foolish. I'm just being honest. Doctors are amazing people. They've clearly got more experience and education and knowledge than I do or you do. But at the same time, I know me, right? I know me real well. I've been with me longer than any doctor has. So I want to take what he says and then what I say and then data and then resources and then knowledge and maybe some friends' advice, and then make a conscientious decision. Most people don't do that process. Most people just do what the doctor says. And we want to try to eliminate that. I want to try to eliminate that. I want to try to eliminate people thinking that their doctor is their savior, or that weed is their savior. Hold on.
Or their boss.
Or their boss. Or CBD. Let's let that sit for a second. Weed is not your savior. It's just like all the people are hearing. They're like, wait, what did he just say? Because there's some people who put weed on the cross, like Christ. They put him up there. They like, it's everything. And I'm like, cannabis is an amazing substance. It's a beautiful plant. It's far more versatile than any plant I think that we have in our solar system. It's amazing. But weed can make things worse. It can. I know a lot of people who don't need weed, who need to get better first. And weed can be a lubricant. It can be a helper. It can be an assister, but it can also stand in the way. Because, it can numb, it can dull, it can keep things deadened. Yeah. And we already live in a world that wants to do that to us all the time. Here, be deadened. Here's sugar, don't feel shitty. Here's weed, don't feel bad. Here's booze, don't feel bad. Here's TV, don't feel bad. You don't like TV at home? You got TV on your tablet. You don't like TV on your tablet? You got TV on your cell phone. You don't like TV on your cell phone? We'll put it in your car. You don't like it in your car? We'll put it, just don't feel bad. It's okay. Don't feel bad when we're coddling people, ourselves, our psyches. And they're these little spoiled babies. And so, see, it all comes back to jiu-jitsu, Travis. The moral of the story is you just need to get on the mat and do jiu-jitsu.
There's no freaking way I'm ever going to end up doing
because you're back. Huh? Because you're back and stuff. Yeah. What can you do physically? Are you able to?
I can do a lot of stuff.
I
learned how to throw a football again. It was really embarrassing. My kid could
throw better than you.
Way better, and he had to teach me, and it took honestly almost 2 years. But now I'm back. Now
don't feel bad though.
High school form, but that twisting motion, or
having somebody on top, the crushing would be terrible in the back.
Yeah. Plus, I just never liked getting beat up.
Right? Oh, dude, that's actually
I liked it for a little bit. I had to take boxing in college.
Okay.
A boxing class, and I enjoyed it a lot, and I was decent at it to the point where I tried out for the team. But,
wow.
Yeah, the first time I really got hit, that turned out that was the difference. Like boxing class, like I never really took a good shot.
But then when you went out and got actually hit, it's a different story. You know what, dude? That's a different thing, man. Like it hurts. It hurts in another way.
Yeah, I just don't like getting beat up.
I don't like getting beat up either. That's kind of why I do jujitsu, you know.
Right now, like the way that my life is situated, like I'd have to, I don't know. I spend a lot of time doing things like putting lotions in bottles, or
sure,
you know, like that's.
So are you guys
ready to take off?
Are you guys hiring, man? You looking for some veteran employees? Maybe I can make some references.
Maybe.
Do you guys have to be carded here to work or no? Okay.
No, we're an agricultural commodity.
That's amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah, as long as you don't.
It's like canning tomatoes.
It should be regulated like tomatoes.
That's awesome.
And it will be. Hemp will be
eventually.
Yeah, marijuana with the greater than 0.3% THC, that should also be regulated like tomatoes, basically, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get turned off by the stigma related to cannabis, and I say to those people, you'll be the ones that'll be laughed at later. It sounds really harsh, but like that, the ones that were like, yeah, but black people, come on, hold on, black people can't, they're gonna do these other things over here. They're gonna rape our women. You can't make them citizens. I mean, come on. And then they're like, you can't let everybody drink as much beer as they want. They'll just be drunk everywhere. They'll just be terrible. And now we're like, what a bunch of morons. What a bunch of backwards, mule-biting idiots. And now people are saying, well, if you legalize weed, it's just going to go everywhere. It's just everybody's going to be high.
I want to see it growing in the medians.
Yes.
I think that I think it should be growing. I think there should be hemp gardens in the medians of Lakewood, Colorado right now.
Wasn't that a requirement for the colonies?
Yeah.
You had to grow a certain amount of hemp?
Yeah. I think Virginia required people to grow hemp, and
that's crazy.
No, it's
a good thing, though.
I want to plant it everywhere. I think it'll be better for the environment. I think it'll be better for, it could be too late for us to save the planet, but it feels like as far as saving the planet goes, this seems like a pretty good plan.
It does. Between Paul Stamets saying that mycelium can shave the world, and then, my friend here saying that cannabis can save the world. It could. I really think that natural medicine can do a lot for the entire universe.
It could sequester a lot of carbon. It could. Here's right now, if you want to grow a crop in Kansas, then almost certainly you're going to be buying your seeds from Monsanto and spraying them with Roundup. Spraying, and they don't have Roundup ready weed. And if you ever want me to buy the CBD that you grew in that crop, I guarantee you, I'm never buying it.
I'm never eating it. Yeah,
I'm never buying it if you ever sprayed Roundup on that stuff. And so there's a difference right there with how hemp could help save the planet. Is just sheer economics. I'm not buying your Roundup weed.
No,
I'm not buying your. I mean that's.
And basically what it's saying is that I'm going to grow my own medicine. I'm in the driver's seat. I'm the boss here.
Yeah.
If I want to take something that somebody else made, I'm going to do it with my permission when I say because I want to feel differently. That's it.
Yeah. And
it's with my permission. That's the thing that's really important to impact people, man. Like this CBD stuff is equipping people to live their life again, not under the mandate of a doctor's prescription notepad.
Yep. I'm also a client.
Yeah. Right? Like, you use the products and it helps you.
I changed my own life with stuff that we made up.
It's amazing.
And there are a ton of there are a ton of good CBD companies out there. Like I don't necessarily look forward to having more direct competitors and stuff, but at the same time, I fully support that and work diligently toward making that day happen. The sooner that Wonder Bread has Wonder Bread with CBD in it, the better.
Dude, you're kidding me. Oh my God.
I'm not kidding you.
That's ridiculous. CBD and Wonder Bread?
Why not?
because Wonder Bread's terrible. I hope they go out of business.
Well, they've got.
They're making a
machinery.
product. I'm messing with you. So like, yeah, okay.
Or
So
take
like,
some kind of
like
bread, some famous
natural, good,
Yeah.
organic bread, and then make CBD in it. Okay, guys, this is your task. Google CBD bread. I want to find some of that.
Surely somebody's doing it.
You think?
Hempsels, I think.
Okay, I got to
doing
Google it
CBD
now.
pretzels,
All right.
right? Is that right,
Okay.
Gringo?
CBD bread. There it is.
Like
Flora's Bake Shop
Hey, we
opens
just-
in
we
Lakewood.
distribute Flora's products.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Well, then let's go to this and see what you're saying.
I don't know that she makes bread now. In fact, I know that she does.
Okay, cool. Well, there was an old article. Where's my Jamie when I need one? I need a guy over here to run the Google search. Yeah,
Yeah, we really need
a
production
producer. Yeah. Okay, guys. So on this website here, when you go to Veedworks.com and you go to products, you're going to be searching for. I'm going there right now to grab it. What are we looking for? The cartridges, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and we're going to be looking for the 600 right here.
Yep.
So we have in the 600, we just have the hybrid, or is there other flavors? Let's see.
I'll turn the.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
We have 3 600s on there. And
There it is. Yeah. So we've got the sativa,
use,
the hybrid, and then the indica.
VNR 600?
VNR? No, just VNR is what I put in.
Or just VNR.
Just VNR, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll do right here after this podcast. You guys are beautiful and amazing people. Thank you so much to my homie, my friend, my fellow compatriot in this battle, Travis. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. I appreciate it.
Is there any other closing words you have, my friend?
No, I think I said my bit.
I'm going to let you guys off on YouTube first. Let's see here. We're going to end this stream.